Samurai Megazord, we are united!
Megazords are giant robots that are formed by the combination of smaller vehicles, animals, or other units known as Zords. Each Power Rangers team has its own set of Zords that have specific powers and abilities. Naturally, when there's a kaiju-like robot in question, one may think about what would happen if this robot fought the king of the monsters, aka Godzilla. While Megazords are powerful in their own universe and are usually victorious, many of them would prove severely incompetent against the Big G's might, let alone his super strength, cunning, and of course, his atomic breath. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. 15 Power Ranger Megazords that Godzilla could defeat without breaking a sweat. Let's begin, shall we? But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Galaxy Megazord Saber!
Galaxy Megazord. The Galaxy Megazord forms when the first 5 Galactabeasts turn into Galactazords using transdaggers. The gorilla becomes the hips and legs. The condor makes the waist and doubles as a back-mounted missile in missile mode. The lion builds the torso and head. The wolf and wildcat turn into the right and left arms, getting fists. This Megazord thinks on its own, a first for Power Rangers. It wields the Galaxy Megazord Saber, charging with white energy for a strong slash that beat Gasser, hurt Ruptor, and defeated Rocketron. Its main move uses the Condor in missile mode as an energy crossbow, launching a green energy bolt to beat monsters. It shoots energy from its hands too, like when it broke a mind control device in Loyax's last battle. You can also find the Galaxy Megazord in Power Rangers Super Legends. The plus point that Galaxy Megazord would have in a fight against the Big G is that it can think for itself. Its Megazord Saber is potent enough to deal with some heavy damage on Godzilla's tough hide, but the Big G would still prevail, given the millions of years of experience in battling all kinds of Hollow Earth monsters.
Artillery power, fire!
Turbo Megazord. The Turbo Megazord comes from 5 Megazords joining. Zordon said it was the strongest Zord then. It fights with the Turbo Megazord Saber, using it as a fast spin move called the Turbo Megazord Spinout to destroy enemies with a slashing energy attack. Its other weapon, the Turbo Headlight Blaster, shoots a big energy blast from its chest lights. It can kick and uses a tire-shaped shield sometimes. With the Rescue Megazord, it can do a team attack with weapons from Artillotron. In Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, the Turbo Megazord fought Malagor, a big demon, on Muranthius Island. Turbo Megazord defeated him quickly with the saber and pushed him into the water, thereby destroying him. On Earth, it kept fighting Divatox's monsters. General Havoc, Divatox's brother, once stole it and made it evil with a device powered by the Phantom Ranger's Power Ruby. The Phantom Ranger gave the Turbo Rangers the Rescue Megazord to fight back. Eventually, the evil Turbo Megazord, under Crosspatch and robots, fought against the Rescue Megazord. The Red Ranger found the Ruby, beat Crosspatch, destroyed the device, and made the Turbo Megazord good again. But the Turbo Megazord can't really do much good against the king of the monsters. You see, the Turbo Rangers were never really the big fish of their universe, so it's safe to say that their Megazord also lacked the punch. I believe Godzilla would be able to quite easily shrug off most kinds of attacks that the Turbo Megazord would offer with its basic shield and sword. Dino Megazord. The Dino Megazord starts as a tank with the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord at the center. Triceratops and saber-toothed tiger Dinozords turn into treads. On the other hand, the Mastodon Dinozord becomes the cannon, and the Pterodactyl Dinozord attaches to the back. When the Dino Megazord goes into battle mode, it kinda stands up erect. Treads turn into legs, cannons into arms, and the pterodactyl moves to the chest, which, to be honest, looks super cool. Additionally, the Tyrannosaurus head hides to show its real head, and the tail folds in. In battle mode, it has strong close combat skills, but that's not its only strength, as it can also shoot energy from its eyes and cannons. The Red Ranger leads, but others have roles. Zack, or the Black Ranger, uses a cranial laser, which means that he controls extra weapons. Kimberly, or the Pink Ranger, manages communications, and the Blue Ranger does scans. However, the Yellow Ranger's role is rather unclear amidst all this. The Power Sword, which is actually called from the sky, boosts the Megazord in fights and can act as a backup power source when the primary power source inches towards going dry. With it, the Megazord does a powerful energy slash, usually exploding the target. By the end of the first season, it destroyed 20 giant monsters this way, and that's not counting the pilot episode. The Dino Megazord could give Godzilla a run for his money, especially because of the additional weapons Dino has at its disposal, but not for long. You see, even with an extra source of energy from the Power Sword, Godzilla has a seemingly endless supply of nuclear energy. So yeah, I think it's fairly clear who'd win.
Katana power!
Samurai Megazord. In Power Rangers Samurai, the 5 Samurai Rangers use their folding Zords, shaped like origami, to form the Samurai Megazord. They activate their Zords by writing the word Super and combine them into the Megazord with the word Unite. The Megazord fights with a katana and shield, which makes it look like an ancient samurai in addition to giving it its name. The folding Zords transform from mini emblems using symbol power, and the Rangers' spin swords become Mega Blades for Mega Mode. In their Zords, Rangers use spin sword discs on control panels for commands. Interestingly, the Mega Blades turn into joysticks for control. They use Samurizers for super attacks. Almost always, it's Jaden who decides when to merge Zords into the Samurai Megazord, which usually houses all Rangers in one cockpit. Furthermore, the Samurai Megazord can work without its helmet too. A Ranger in Super Mega Mode can summon all folding Zords alone. In the final fight with Master Xandrid, after losing auxiliary Zords, the Samurai Megazord uses all its symbol power for a fatal strike with its saber. In the end, Xandrid's defeat and subsequent explosion destroy the Megazord. The Samurai Megazord's finishing move is the Samurai Strike, where the word slash appears before a combined slash attack, defeating enemies like Scorpionic and Master Xandrid. I believe the fight between the Samurai Megazord and Godzilla would be the same as a fight between Jaeger from the Pacific Rim franchise and Godzilla. And it's pretty obvious that even the most powerful of Jaegers cannot really defeat Godzilla. But I'm sure some of you might disagree. I leave the floor open for a healthy debate. Jungle Pride Megazord. The Jungle Pride Megazord excels in quick moves and close-quarter combat. While it misses blast weapons, the Jungle Pride Megazord makes up for it with spin attacks. As far as its structure is concerned, it mainly forms with a tiger for the body and cheetah and jaguar as legs. The tails of these jungle beasts become the Jungle Setsukon, which is basically a whip for battling monsters. Needless to say, the Jungle Pride Megazord is fast and skilled in combat, which are skills that compensate for the lack of distance attacks. And to be honest, hardly any beast in the jungle is known for long-range attacks. Speaking of jungle beasts, the Jungle Pride can join with other animal spirits for more power. Its go-to attack move is called the Savage Spin, wherein it powers up its fists with golden energy, spins to hit enemies, and turns them to stone before they blow up. However, I must mention that this doesn't work on heavily armored foes or non-solid ones. Interestingly, the Megazord's fighting style mirrors the Ranger's actions inside. Each Ranger connects to their spirit animal, and the Megazord feels the impacts of hits. While fighting Monkeywee, an attack on the Megazord's cheetah leg hurt Lily the most, which led RJ to join with his wolf spirit to conclude the battle. Jungle Pride's main advantage against Godzilla would be its speed. Big G is too big and hence doesn't quite move as swiftly as you'd want him to. That's when Jungle Pride may manage to deal some damage, but Godzilla's size and strength would be too much for this Megazord. Drive Max Megazord. The Drive Max Megazord is the Overdrive Ranger's main Megazord and is controlled with control drivers. Flurious, in his strongest form, once grabbed its sword and threw the Megazord down, which, as you may expect, caused some really heavy damage. When Moltor sent a Brontosaurus-like monster called the Giant Sea Creature to attack Andrew Hartford, he called the Zords for help. The Rangers, using the Zords, gained the upper hand and merged them into the Drive Max Megazord. They fought the sea creature with the Drive Max Saber. Despite beating it initially, the monster made one final and desperate attempt to drag the Megazord with it, which actually triggered its self-destruct mode. However, the Megazord used a power kick to push the monster away before it blew up. Well, what to say about Drive Max fighting Godzilla? I mean, can Optimus Prime beat Godzilla without plot armor? I don't think so. Once again, what do you think? Lightspeed Megazord. The Lightspeed Megazord is the go-to giant robot for the Lightspeed Rangers in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. It might be fairly obvious, but yeah, the Lightspeed Megazord fights with the Lightspeed Megazord Saber. In doing so, it kind of unleashes the first circle, which is self-explanatory, to wipe out the bad guys by drawing a glowing circle and slashing through it. Cool stuff. Its arsenal also includes the power thrust with its ladder arms, spray cannons turned laser blasters, and a cool overhead kick, stabilizing itself with those ladder arms. To form up, the Megazord has two methods. Either Aero Rescue 3 hoists Pyro Rescue 1 onto Hydro mode, which forms the lower half. Otherwise, it lifts Aqua Rescue 2 to shape the upper legs, which has Rescue 4 and Med Rescue 5 snapped together as the lower legs. Pyro Rescue then pulls itself up, and Aero Rescue caps off the formation. A bit complicated, I believe. Unfortunately, though, the Lightspeed Megazord, along with the Super Train Megazord and Max Solar Zord, met their end in a fierce fight against the villains Diabolico and Olympius. Godzilla is super outmatched for the Lightspeed Megazord. I mean, yeah, the Megazord can fight and win against nigh impossible odds, but defeating Godzilla would be too much for it. The Gosei Great Megazord. The Gosei Great Megazord started the Megaforce Rangers fight in Power Rangers Megaforce. Of course, it pieced together the 5 Megazords. Furthermore, this beast of a Megazord stepped up to take on Vrak in Power Rangers Super Megaforce. Originally, the Mega Rangers kept their Megazords in reserve, only bringing them out to face UFO. After taking UFO down with the Megaforce Blaster's victory charge, Vrak's Zombats made him a giant. Faced with this new threat, Gosei cues the Rangers to deploy their Megazords. In Super Megaforce, after Vrak turns the legendary Ranger keys to stone, the Rangers are left without their legendary Megazord. Naturally, they call on the Gosei Great Megazord for backup against Vrak's crew. They rally the Megazords again for a final fight with the Armada, but face defeat. The Rangers activate their Megazords with Gosei cards and lock their morphers onto the dashboards to pilot them. Once combined, they zip to a central cockpit, courtesy of Gosei's teleport tech. The Gosei Great Megazord fights with its Zord heads as projectiles in the multi-Zord attack, lands mega punches and kicks, and wields a massive sword. Its finisher, the Mega Strike, traps the monster with giant Megazord cards, and with a flaming sword, it slashes through the Gosei Dragon Megazord card to take monsters out. Nope, nah, nada. Gosei Great Megazord might be great on its home turf when it's fighting its own villains, but not a match for the Big G. Thundersaurus Megazord. The Thundersaurus Megazord, unlike some, didn't get a direct upgrade. It could switch out its arms for different Zords, but met its end with the Mezzodon Megazord and Zelzord. This Megazord could launch a punch with the Tricera Fist and fling the Terrorang, using its pterodactyl chest as a boomerang. It also wielded the Tyrannotail as both a ground-shaking device and a drill or spear. Plus, it could shoot a fire blast from the Tyranno head on its chest. The signature move, the Dino Drill, could be executed by charging the enemy with the spinning Tyrannotail, drilling right through them. What about its fight with Godzilla? Well, I suggest you stay out of a Godzilla fight if your main weapon is just a gigantic drill. Isis Megazord. When Max, Elisa, Danny, and Taylor get stuck in another dimension by General Org-Nazer, they meet a boy named Kite, later known as Animus. He challenged them to solve a puzzle or fall into lava. They succeeded and unlocked the Falcon Summoner for Cole, along with his Battleizer form, Animarian armor. Cole used the Falcon Summoner and the Falcon Zord Animal Crystal to call forth the Falcon Zord from a volcano on the Animarium. This sword combined with the Giraffe, Deer, Rhino, and Armadillo Zords to create the Isis Megazord. The Giraffe and Deer became the arms, the Rhino the waist and legs, the Armadillo the right foot, and the Falcon the upper body and head. The Isis Megazord can fly and has special attacks like the Final Strike, Giraffe Spear, and Deer Clutcher. Its Isis Stare freezes enemies with a blast from cat-like eyes on the Falcon Zord's wings, setting them up for the Final Strike finisher. Do I even need to say why Isis would lose against Godzilla? So let's just save Isis the trauma.
It worked! This is so cool!
Astro Megazord. The Astro Megazord packs serious firepower because of its Astro Megazord blaster, saber, and shield. The blaster transforms from the Mega Shuttle's booster sled. On the other hand, the saber forms from energy, while the shield hangs out under the Megaship when not in battle. Needless to say, this Megazord's saber can do some really nasty things. It charges up for powerful slashes or can be thrown into a monster to wipe it out with a burst of energy. The Astro Megazord has got 2 epic finishers up its sleeve. However, the go-to move energizes the saber with yellow pixel energy for a slice that's nothing short of monster doom. The other finisher supercharges the blaster for a spiral blast that monsters can't survive. The finishing moves that Astro Megazord has may manage to deal some damage to Godzilla, but that's about it. They're not enough to defeat the giant lizard. Ninja Steel Megazord. The Ninja Steel Megazord comes to life when a ranger spins their Zord star in the Ninja Starblade. First, the Zords dash forward. The Robo Red Zord jumps onto the Dragon Zord, which then preps its wings and tail to become a fist. It lands on the Nitro Zord, whose front turns into another fist, while the Zoom Zord's back morphs into legs as the Kodiak Zord joins in. They all fuse, with the Nitro and Dragon Zord arms integrating into the Nitro Zord's body. Finally, the Robo Red Zord hops into the Nitro Zord, turning into the pilot seat, and the Robo Red Zord star becomes the head. At first, the Ninja Steel Megazord has no juice. It needs Ninja Master Mode, or later Ninja Super Steel Mode, to kick into gear. This upgrade gives the Rangers the Ninja Master Blade and the Ninja Super Steel Blaster for beefier finishers. The Megazord can switch up its look and power by changing out its main parts. Instead of swapping limbs, it swaps the control unit, with the Robo Red Zord sometimes stepping aside for an auxiliary Zord. In the usual setup, the Robo Red Zord runs the show. The Megazord wields the Dragon Sword and shield made from the Dragon Zord's tail and wings. It can throw the Robo Red Zord at foes for a smash or spin. Its ultimate attack mode is the Master Slash, where it amps up the Dragon Sword with yellow energy for a triple energy slice. Wild Force Megazord. When the Barbed Wire Org showed up, the Rangers called their Wild Zords from the Animarium with the words "Wild Zords Descend," and their crystal sabers pointed up. By forming a star with their sabers, they say the words "Wild Zords Combine," which leads to the Bison, Lion, Shark, White Tiger, and Eagle Zords coming together. The Bison opens up for the others to fit inside. The Lion turns into the main body, the Shark and White Tiger become arms, and the Eagle settles on top. Inside the Lion, the Rangers set their sabers in matching consoles and shout "Wild Force Megazord." The Bison's body transforms into legs. The Eagle merges with the Lion, and the Megazord's head pops up, ready to pose. This Megazord uses Shark Surge and Tiger Fury punches, and sometimes wields the Shark Zord's fin as the fin blade. Its killing strike is the Wild Force Mega Roar, which blasts multicolored energy featuring all the Wild Zord's silhouettes jets to take down enemies. After the Soulbird joined, it became the new cockpit, and it introduced the Soulbird cannon. This finisher shoots an energy blast from the Soulbird, powered by the Zord's collective force, which replaces the Mega Roar. Omega Megazord. Omega Megazord is made up of 5 Omegazords. Omegazord 1 becomes the head and chest, Omegazord 2 the arms, Omegazord 3 the waist and hips, and Omegazords 4 and 5 turn into the legs. Its main gear is the Omega Staff, which fires the Omega Missile and slashes enemies as a finisher. The Omega Staff can fold and hitch a ride on Rail Rescue 5. It even uses the Lightspeed Megazord Saber for a special kind of strike and packs a laser blaster. In a fight with Trakina on Earth, the Omega Megazord got a power-up from the Lights of Orion, wherein it wielded both the Galaxy Megazord Saber and its usual weapon. It faced heavy damage from super demons, but was fixed, only to get hijacked by demons for a ritual. The Rangers had no choice but to crash Carter's MAV into it, taking out Jinxer and some batlings inside. Mega Megazord. The Mega Megazord is a powerhouse combination of Zords from different Ranger teams, bulked up with Black Dragon Zord tech. When Lord Draken and his Ranger sentries forced the Rangers' hands, they rallied the Zords for a final fight, but Serpentera tore through them, leaving many busted. Jen Scotts figured out which Zords could still mesh and got RJ, Kendall, Kat, and the Hyperforce Rangers to pilot this patchwork team. Together they formed the Mega Megazord, standing tall against Serpentera, and finally skewering it with Draken's Tower. This Megazord, born from necessity in the comics, was a game changer in the battle against Draken. So that was all in this one, but hey, we're going to explore everything there is to explore about everything pop culture, and we have our eyes set on the new Godzilla movie too, so sit tight. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.